A towering golden dragon emanated an overwhelming aura, resembling a true behemoth of the heavens and earth. The dragon god's second transformation isn't as useless as it seems. Previously, due to my shallow cultivation, I could only release the dragon's might to shock my enemies. But now, with my power growing, I can fully master the dragon god's second transformation, allowing me to display the dragon's might and mimic the form of powerful dragon clan warriors. Dragon Sense allows me to mimic the aura of dragon clan experts, while dragon's might can overwhelm these guys. Together, they provide a nearly crushing suppression, but if I face a true dragon clan monarch, the backlash might strike me. Moreover, mimicking the aura of Dragon Sense requires first-hand experience. The dragon god has 9 offspring, and I've only encountered the aura of my Xiao, the Golden Dragon King. I don't know how the auras of the other 8 compare to his. The Golden Dragon slowly murmured. However, the middle-aged man, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor, was completely unaware that the Golden Dragon King was actually an incarnation of Xiao. Xiao, too, did not know that his body still contained traces of the Golden Dragon King's aura, which allowed him to mimic it so perfectly. Otherwise, a normal expert would have been exposed long ago by the Dragonblood Martial Emperor. I did not know that Lord Golden Dragon King had descended. My subordinates failed to greet you properly. Please forgive us, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor said, bowing deeply in respect, his aged body suddenly bending, showing genuine reverence on his face. Although the Dragonblood Martial Emperor was not a member of the Dragon Clan, he possessed Dragonblood within him, allowing him to sense the aura of the Dragon Clan's strongest. Though faint, the pressure was undeniably real, so he had no doubts. After all, in the entire Great Thousand Worlds, few could impersonate the Golden Dragon King. Moreover, the Golden Dragon King was a true powerhouse within the Dragon Clan. Not only was he the Dragon God's top disciple, but his strength was said to be incredibly close to that of the Dragon God himself. The Dragon God? Who was the Dragon God? He was a legendary figure in the Great Thousand Worlds, a godlike existence whose power was said to transcend all worldly limits. Being so close to the Dragon God, the Golden Dragon King's power was enough to shake the heavens and earth, a force that even a mere 5-star Do Xian could not possibly contend with. Rise. Why are you stationed here? Why haven't you returned to the Dragon Clan? After a moment, an ancient voice slowly emerged from within the Golden Dragon, clearly a result of the Dragon God's second transformation's Dragon Sense, allowing Xiao to mimic the scene. Reporting to my lord, ever since the Dragon Clan split apart, I was suppressed by the powerful beings of the ferocious soul domain. They couldn't kill me, so they used ghostly chi to seal me in the Earth Spirit Tower, trying to have some disciples subdue me. The Dragonblood Martial Emperor respectfully responded as he noticed the Golden Dragon speaking. Ghostly chi? Sealing? Upon hearing this, the Golden Dragon's golden eyes were filled with confusion. After a moment, it shifted its gaze to the black mist around the Dragonblood Martial Emperor's body. The strange black glow, resembling worms, was the reason his powers had been suppressed. Without these black rays, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor's strength could easily break through. After all, with his cultivation talent and mutated dragon blood, his power had reached a new level. The chaotic energy of the Earth Spirit Tower alone couldn't bind him. That little brat you attacked earlier is my disciple. Let him help you deal with this. Afterward, remember to return to the Dragon Clan. After a pause, the Golden Dragon's radiance faded, and Xiao figure reappeared in the void. The Dragonblood Martial Emperor frowned, clearly taken aback by the sudden turn of events. However, the aura of the Golden Dragon King was so genuine that he soon began to hesitate, no longer doubting. With a sudden jerk, Xiao floating body trembled, and then, with a stumble, he crashed onto the barren land, covered in dust and looking disoriented, his aura weak. Dragonblood Martial Emperor? What just happened? Why can't I remember anything? Looking at the tall, middle-aged man before him, Xiao face filled with anxiety as he cried out in confusion. Forget it, it must be true. Seeing Xiao reaction and recalling the earlier aura of the Golden Dragon King, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor stopped doubting. The unique aura of the Golden Dragon King was impossible to fake. "Kid, you're doing a good deed for someone. Come here." Hee. Xiao noticed this scene and offered no resistance. Clearly, the action he had just taken had successfully deceived this person, as his smile quickly faded. "Senior, what is this thing?" As he approached the dark red coffin, an extremely strong, repelling force spread out. Even with Xiao current strength, it was somewhat difficult to approach. "This is a treasure of the Dragon Clan. As for its exact nature, I don't know, but it holds great significance among the Dragon Clan. I acquired it by chance from one of the Dragon Kings ranked at the very bottom of the Dragon God's 9 sons. I was incredibly lucky that time. Otherwise, I too would have fallen with regret." The Dragonblood Martial Emperor looked at the dark red coffin and slowly spoke, his voice filled with pride. "Taken from one of the Dragon Kings of the Dragon God's 9 sons?" Upon hearing this, Xiao pupils contracted. Such bold words could only come from the fearless Dragonblood Martial Emperor. The Dragon God's 9 sons. Who were they? Without needing to think, it was clear that the 9 were Dragon Kings, and even the lowest-ranked Dragon King must be an incredibly powerful being, perhaps even one beyond the reach of the Dragonblood Martial Emperor's current 5-star Do Xian strength. Enough. I cannot open this dark red coffin. It remains intact, so since I obtained it, I've been trying to find a way to unlock it. The Dragonblood Martial Emperor spoke. "Has it never been opened?" Xiao nodded slowly upon hearing this. The Dragonblood Martial Emperor spoke truthfully, for Xiao could sense the perfectly sealed lines on the coffin, clearly showing it had never been opened. However, with time passing, I've begun to have a few clues about how to open it. Seeing Xiao intense gaze, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor smiled. "What exactly is it?" Xiao asked curiously. "This seems to be related to the Dragon Clan's ultimate treasure, something related to the legendary 9 transformations of the Dragon God." A soft snort rang out like thunder in Xiao ears. But as soon as the words, 9 transformations of the Dragon God, were spoken, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor's bloodline seemed to tremble involuntarily, as if these words carried a special kind of power. Related to the 9 transformations of the Dragon God? Hearing the Dragonblood Martial Emperor's words, Xiao felt a wave of shock spread through him. Among the things Xiao now understood, the Flame Mantra and the 9 transformations of the Dragon God were the most mysterious and unfathomable. However, Xiao knew for certain that the 9 transformations of the Dragon God were undoubtedly a divine-level Do technique, while the Flame Mantra reached its peak by relying on the sacred flame to ascend. Thus, Xiao couldn't immediately determine which of these 2 techniques was stronger. This thought reminded him of the Thunder Emperor's sacred codex, which was practiced by Duan Qi Fei. Xiao instinctively felt that the 9 transformations of the Dragon God might even surpass the Thunder Emperor's sacred codex. "What? You know of the 9 transformations of the Dragon God?" After his words, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor looked at Xiao in confusion, his voice filled with curiosity. The treasure of the Dragon Clan, equivalent to the greatest treasure of the Great Thousand Worlds, was something of immeasurable worth. "By luck, I've seen it once." Xiao scratched his head and smiled, not avoiding the topic. After all, he couldn't tell the Dragonblood Martial Emperor that he himself practiced it, or else the Dragonblood Martial Emperor might grow envious. "First, help me deal with the ghostly qi around me. Now that you've proven your identity, I won't trouble you any further." After a moment, the Dragonblood Martial Emperor stopped hesitating and spoke directly. The strange, worm-like ghostly qi around him had been sealing and suppressing his power, causing him great pain. Most of the Dragon Clan are unruly, but it seems that, despite being human, because of your dragon blood, you are no different from the Dragon Clan. Regardless, I am willing to assist. Xiao, not wanting to waste more time, immediately took action. After all, with the Soul Devourer and his own 9 transformations of the Dragon God, if the Dragonblood Martial Emperor had any ill intentions, he would only be bringing about his own demise. Wom. Moments later, Xiao Fireheart Heavenly Rock, a yellowish earth elemental treasure, appeared from within his body, easily attaching itself to the dragon blood martial emperor. The strange, worm-like ghostly chi quickly dissipated, like a moth to the flame. The sacred flame? Realizing what was happening, the dragon blood martial emperor's pride eased slightly. Xiao Yan's many secrets made this powerful warrior wary. After all, Xiao Yan not only exuded the aura and image of the Golden Dragon King, but also had the support of the sacred flame, one of the greatest forces in the Great Thousand Worlds. This caused the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor's attitude toward Xiao Yan to shift considerably. Whoosh! A few minutes later, the ghostly chi sealing the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor's body vanished under Xiao Yan's sacred flame. Instantly, the once glorious Dragon Blood Martial Emperor, now aged, was once again filled with a deep and profound aura, as waves of powerful energy surged around him, reminiscent of a true dragon, causing others to tremble. As expected, the younger generation surpasses the older one. Inside you, there should be some dragon blood as well, right? After a deep breath, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor's gaze fixed on Xiao Yan. Through Xiao Yan's recent actions, he sensed a similar energy. However, Xiao Yan's dragon blood was weaker than his own. Senior, Xiao Yan's heart stirred as he smiled. The fortune within this coffin is yours to take. But for now, let's deal with the coffin first. As for the dragon blood, there's no rush. Because I, too, want to see what exactly is inside this coffin. As soon as his words finished, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor's human form dissipated, and a massive blue dragon appeared in the sky. A terrifying force swept out, engulfing the surroundings. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Moments later, faint lines began to wriggle around the dark red coffin. Then, a surge of dark red energy exploded, as though provoked by the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor, automatically forming a protective barrier around it. In the past, I couldn't defeat you, but now, you have no chance. Boy, Sacred Flame, assist me. With a thunderous roar, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor bellowed. Fireheart Heavenly Rock, go. Xiao Yan nodded in agreement, and immediately the sacred flame crystal fell from his body, gathering the pure essence of Sacred Flame. Roar, roar, roar. With Xiao Yan's sacred flame assisting, an intense dragon flame gradually emerged from the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor's dragon head. Dragon Flame, Dragon's Breath. These were techniques used by the true Dragon Clan. Dragon Flame was not an ordinary fire. It was a special flame energy forged from the power of Dragon Clan experts, capable of burning even the void itself. And Dragon's Breath was a vast and overwhelming dragon flame attack that could obliterate everything in its path. It could be said without hesitation that these two attacks from a true Dragon Clan were devastatingly powerful. Whoosh! As the dragon flame merged with Xiao Yan's earthy sacred flame, an indifferent force swept across the barren land. Even the very fabric of the void trembled, as if this terrifying power might erase everything in its wake. Dragon Flame, perish! With another roar, the dragon flame surged forward like a lightning strike, heading straight for the dark red coffin. Whoosh whoosh! Despite the coffin's formidable defenses, the combined power of the two forces caused it to collapse almost instantly. Finally, is it about to open? As he watched the coffin break down, the dark red lines around it slowly burned away under the dragon flame. Xiao Yan couldn't help but speak. Whoosh! With a sound, the dark red coffin was struck, and a ripple of dark red energy surged outward, causing both Xiao Yan and the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor to take a step back involuntarily. Success, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor said weakly, his dragon form dissipating and returning to his human body. Boom! At that moment, a dark red stone slab, resembling a lid, slowly detached from the coffin and fell to the ground. The surrounding void became infused with a desolate aura, and blurred images began to emerge from the coffin, entering the line of sight of Xiao Yan and the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor. The images gradually became clearer, and Xiao Yan was deeply shocked. In the images, a young man stood, exuding an air of nobility and dominance, his very presence carrying the pressure of a superior. Dragon God's third transformation, Dragon Arm transformation. At that instant, a brutal roar echoed through the scene. With the roar, the young man's arm was covered in dragon scales, enveloping his entire arm. Xiao Yin could sense the overwhelming destructive power contained within the arm, sending a chill down his spine. Before him stood an ancient exotic beast. Xiao Yin recognized it as the five-colored heavenly python, an ancient beast on par with a six-star Do Xian. Five-colored heavenly python? This is an ancient exotic beast that could evolve into a true dragon clan member. How could it? Looking at the imposing young man and the massive green python in the images, the dragon-blood martial emperor muttered in disbelief. It seems like they're fighting? After a moment, Xiao Yan's expression turned serious. It seems like it's not a battle, but a one-sided crushing. The dragon-blood martial emperor exclaimed, as if he had suddenly realized something. His gaze fixed on the young man, and an overwhelming pressure emanated from deep within his soul, slowly spreading. Dragon God's third transformation, Dragon Arm. As his voice fell, the blue-faced man's palm was instantly covered with dense blue dragon scales, which were extremely ferocious. They subtly formed incredibly powerful defenses, exuding a heavy, mountainous aura and emanating a terrifying, heart-stopping fluctuation. Dragon God's fifth transformation, Dragon God Claw. At that moment, the man bypassed Dragon God's fourth transformation, and a roar that seemed to pierce the heavens erupted from his mouth. Whoosh whoosh. As the blue-faced man uttered this sound, his arm, already covered with blue dragon scales, suddenly expanded. In the blink of an eye, it transformed into a massive dragon claw, 1,000 feet long. The dragon claw was covered in dense blue dragon scales, and under this coverage, the entire space trembled with an inexplicable, vibrating force. In an instant, the dragon claw blotted out the sky and earth, exuding an overwhelming aura capable of destroying the world. Crack, crack. As this scene unfolded, the blue-faced man no longer hesitated. He clenched his palm, and the 1,000-foot-long dragon claw struck at the five-colored heavenly python. Despite the python's violent struggles, it was crushed in an instant, utterly shattered with no chance of escape, destroyed completely. Bang, bang, bang. The void shattered, and the image gradually became blurry. However, Xiao Yin clearly recognized that this scene was real, not an illusion. Is this the third and fifth transformations of the Dragon God's supreme treasure, 9 transformations of the Dragon God? Looking at this heart-shocking scene, even with the strength of the Dragon-blood martial emperor at the 5-star Do Xian level, he couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The third transformation of the Dragon God actually has such overwhelming power. After transforming into the Dragon Arm, the appearance of dragon scales increases the destructive power geometrically, and the destructive power of the Dragon God's fifth transformation, the Dragon God Claw, is probably close to invincible within the same rank. Xiao Yin muttered to himself after the scene disappeared. When his master, the Golden Dragon King, had left, he had passed on the cultivation method for the 9 transformations of the Dragon God. However, even someone of the Golden Dragon King's level had only given Xiao Yin the first 5 transformations. The last 4 transformations were closely guarded by the Dragon Clan. But now, if Xiao Yin fully mastered the first 5 transformations, even powerful individuals like Ling Feng would seem insignificant. Forget it. Don't be too greedy. I'll deal with this for now. After all, I'm still barely able to master the second transformation of the Dragon God. The others are far beyond my reach. After a short pause, Xiao Yin shook his head and said, "Let's go. Once we finish here, I'll be leaving," the Dragon-blood martial emperor said, his voice steady. "Thank you, Senior." Xiao Yin clasped his hands in gratitude, and as his voice fell, his body floated into the air, heading toward the dark red coffin that had opened. Based on Xiao Yan's senses, the scene he had just witnessed seemed to be connected to something inside the coffin, and this object undoubtedly existed within. Hiss! As Xiao Yin approached the dark red coffin by a few meters, a force of suppression from his bloodline suddenly surged forth. Dragon's might? Noticing this, Xiao Yin furrowed his brows in confusion. This power didn't originate from his Xiao clan's bloodline, but but rather felt similar to the dragon blood he had absorbed from cultivating the dragon god transformation. "Get down!" Sensing the immense pressure, Xiao Yan's eyes turned red, and he roared, clenching his fists as a surge of madness spread. This guy's willpower is so strong. It seems the Golden Dragon King foresaw the Second Heavenly War and the Dragon Clan's calamity. I hope this time, the Dragon Clan can truly unify. Otherwise, with the 9 Dragon Kings each ruling their own territory, the Dragon Clan will only be slowly devoured by other weaker forces, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor said, his expression a mix of concern and hope as he observed Xiao Yan. Crack! After about 5 minutes of struggling, Xiao Yan managed to wear down the pressure, but he was in a terrible state, drenched in sweat and his energy weakened from the effort. What is this? After completing the task, the dark red coffin fell silent, but inside, a small, thumb-sized object, resembling a leaf, stood quietly in the coffin's interior. It was a vaguely defined item, but intricate patterns, as though carved by a patient artisan, radiated endless pressure, quietly spreading throughout the coffin. Scale of Baxia? Noticing Xiao Yan's shock, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor's figure suddenly appeared beside him. However, when his gaze fell on the object standing inside the coffin, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Scale of Baxia?" Xiao Yan was taken aback, a feeling of shock rising within him. Xiao Yan understood that the so-called Dragon's 9 sons referred to the 9 descendants formed from the dragon god's divided powers after his fall, each taking the position of one of the 9 great dragon kings with supreme authority in the Dragon Clan. Among the 9 dragon kings, the Golden and Silver Dragon Kings ranked first and second. Both in terms of power and prestige in the Dragon Clan, they were the highest. In addition, the other 7 Dragon Kings also possessed terrifying and mysterious power beyond comprehension. Baxia, it turned out, was one of the 7 Dragon Kings, and ranked among those closer to the top. Baxia, his true form is extremely mysterious, but he always appears as a young man. What's more, he is a master of water attributes. His control over water has reached a realm of resonance with the heavens and earth, placing him at the pinnacle of the great 1,000 worlds. As for this scale of Baxia, it probably holds a great deal of Baxia's power. Most importantly, to cultivate the dragon god's 3rd transformation, the dragon arm, one must have the scales of the Dragon Clan. The Devourer of Souls spoke, just as Xiao Yan was filled with confusion. So there's this secret. Xiao Yan nodded lightly in understanding. Take action. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan's eyes sharpened as his hand, wrapped in sacred flame power, shot out directly towards the scale of Baxia. You reckless brat, this is the scale of Baxia. Baxia is one of the foremost of the 9 Dragon Kings. Are you seeking your own death? The Dragon Blood Martial Emperor roared, preparing to step in and save Xiao Yan. Whom! Just as Xiao Yan's hand made contact with the blue scale of Baxia, a suffocating, overwhelming pressure filled the air around him, as though he were being dragged to the bottom of a vast ocean, struggling to breathe. Crash! Just as Xiao Yan felt powerless, his imperial flame ring, which had remained quiet until now, suddenly emitted a dazzling light. A series of dark golden patterns slowly appeared. The golden patterns began to subtly form a figure, which gradually took the shape of a magnificent dragon, resembling a miniature version of the Golden Dragon King. With this sudden turn of events, the scale of Baxia quieted down and was easily taken by Xiao Yan. The imperial flame ring then returned to its calm state. However, after lying dormant for so long, the imperial flame ring had finally revealed its true power. You fool, you're too reckless, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor said in relief, realizing Xiao Yan was fine. He had been startled for no reason. Although he didn't know the importance of the Golden Dragon King to Xiao Yan, he understood enough about such powerful beings. If something had happened to Xiao Yan under his watch, these beings would not hesitate to strike, and a single slap from them could annihilate him instantly. Thank you, Senior. This is some sacred flame fire. I hope you can take it back to the Dragon Clan and give it to my master. Xiao Yan spoke slowly after a moment, as strands of earthy yellow sacred flame fire appeared. These flames were a representation of Xiao Yan's current state, and once his matters were settled, he would head to the Dragon Clan. His gesture was meant to send a message to his master in advance. Since that's the case, then I will take my leave. Seeing Xiao Yan's actions, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor carefully stored the sacred flame fire, then trembled as his massive dragon body reappeared, exuding a deep aura. With a single step, he shattered the void and swiftly departed. Since the crimson coffin had been broken and the ghostly qi that had imprisoned his power had been destroyed by Xiao Yan's sacred flame, there was no reason to stay any longer. Master, I hope the matters of the Dragon Clan go smoothly. Once I finish my business, I will head to the Dragon Clan, Xiao Yan muttered as he watched the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor leave. Originally, the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor had planned to give Xiao Yan some of his dragon blood, hoping to help him in the future. However, Xiao Yan's aura, particularly that of the Golden Dragon King, was far too strong, and with the scale of Bashar in hand, the dragon blood of this level was useless to him. Therefore, he left in the quickest possible time, as lingering here could be dangerous if the powerful beings from the ferocious soul domain discovered them. With the departure of the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor, the barren space became quiet. The scale of Bashar. In the stillness of the void, Xiao Yan, holding the scale of Bashar, felt a warm aura emanating from it. Using his powerful soul strength, he could sense a destructive force coming from the thumb-sized dragon scale. Let's begin. We've stayed here for too long, and with the departure of the Dragon Blood Martial Emperor, we may attract the attention of the powerful beings in the ferocious soul domain. Quickly absorb the dragon scales and move to the next level. Seeing Xiao Yan in this state, the Devourer of Soul spoke. Xiao Yan nodded slightly. At present, the Dragon God's 5 transformations in Xiao Yan's hands were as follows. The first transformation requires dragon blood to nourish the body, granting him the qualification to cultivate and increasing his physical strength, making him far stronger than his peers. The second transformation of the Dragon God allows him to mimic the voice of the dragon's might and roar to shock enemies, as well as replicate the true form of a powerful dragon clan member to deceive opponents. This cultivation is relatively easy but only effective against dragons. It loses much of its power when facing humans or other strong beings. The third transformation of the Dragon God, Dragon Arm Transformation, focuses on dragon scales. To achieve this, one must devour dragon scales and absorb their pure power, merging that power into one's flesh and blood. This allows the arm to partially transform into a dragon's limb for a short time. After this transformation, the arm carries immense destructive power, which is truly astonishing. This is also a prerequisite for cultivating the Dragon God's 5th transformation, Dragon God Claw. After all, the human body is far weaker than a dragon's immense form. Without the dragon arm's amplification, attempting to unleash Dragon God Claw would be akin to digging one's own grave. Buzz. With a plan in mind, Xiao Yan no longer hesitated. He sat cross-legged in midair and closed his eyes to rest. The Bashar scale floated before him. Such a powerful scale, Xiao Yan muttered. Looking at the small yet terrifying Bashar scale, which contained an overwhelming energy. Using dragon blood as a catalyst, the blood-dyed dragon scale. In that instant, a brilliant wave spread throughout Xiao Yan's body. The blood was a deep crimson, and it carried a faint aura of some ancient creature. As it surged, it rushed toward the Bashar scale with murderous intent. Dragon blood. This was the very dragon blood Xiao Yan had absorbed when he was cultivating the first transformation of the Dragon God. Although this dragon blood was quite diluted and lacked the purity of the 9 Dragon Kings, it was enough to balance the power of the Bashar scale. After all, dragon blood was required to absorb the dragon scales, or else one would explode instantly. Whoosh! With Xiao Yan's actions, the Bashar scale was soon surrounded by dragon blood. The energy quickly transformed into a green river, pulsating with brilliant energy that could incinerate anything that touched it. Buzz. What is this? Xiao Yan asked, looking at the Bashar scale, which had turned into a green river. The aura of the scale seemed to have weakened considerably. Just now, the Bashar scale was in its true form. Now, after being activated by the dragon blood, it unleashes its own power, somewhat like a self-protection mechanism. Only by finding its true form in the river can you successfully absorb it. With the dragon blood guiding the way, it's much easier to find and devour, the devourer of souls explained. Do I need to find it? Xiao asked, nodding slightly. His dazzling soul power and gaze scanned the green river, and soon it transformed into a burst of light, illuminating the entire river. Here. After a brief moment, Xiao found the tiny, rhombus-shaped Baxia scale. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this point, the Baxia scale, now a green dragon scale, seemed almost alive. As soon as Xiao spotted it, its speed skyrocketed as it tried to escape. Thud! Xiao gave it no chance. The dragon scale at the bottom of the green river was easily devoured by him. Boom! 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 As the Baxia scale entered his body, an extremely scorching aura spread out. However, to someone like Xiao, who had devoured the sacred flame before, this was nothing. Dragon God's third transformation, activate. After the Baxia scale was slowly absorbed by Xiao, the green dragon scale seemed to crawl onto his right arm like a worm. Swish! After a brief moment, ancient patterns began to spread across Xiao's right arm. Has it finally succeeded? Now, with your strength in the Dragon God's third transformation, you truly have the power to protect yourself, the Devourer of Souls said with satisfaction. Success. But what is this? Xiao smiled happily, but after a moment, he raised his dragon arm, and a faint aura appeared before the Devourer of Souls. Baxia's mark. How is this possible? On Xiao's right arm, azure dragon scales were densely packed, resembling a true dragon's arm. The scales were adorned with ancient patterns, forming the vague image of a giant beast. The beast resembled a tortoise, with a smooth, rounded body, as sturdy and indestructible as a mountain. However, thanks to the aura of the dragon scales, an overwhelming sense of authority emanated from it, giving off an undeniable aura of dominance. Baxia's mark. What is this? Hearing the surprised voice of the Devourer of Souls, Xiao's gaze deepened, filled with uncertainty. However, he could clearly sense that after his arm had undergone partial dragonization, the power, destruction, and defense it possessed had increased exponentially, likely enough to easily contend with a late-stage 4-star Douxian. As for a perfect 4-star Douxian, Xiao believed he could still stand a chance. I told you before, Baxia is one of the peak water attribute cultivators in the Great Thousand Worlds, and Baxia's scales are the very scales on his body. Unlike humans, the dragon scales of the dragon clan are intrinsic, and over time, they absorb the power of the cultivator. Therefore, the dragon scales carry the faintest trace of the dragon's aura. Once a dragon scale bears the dragon's mark, it inherits a bit of that dragon king's power. The Devourer of Souls spoke with clear excitement, his gaze fixed intently on the azure dragon scales on Xiao's arm. Even with his current strength, he could faintly sense subtle ripples emanating from the scales, as profound and unfathomable as the vast ocean. A trace of power? Xiao responded in disbelief. Xiao wasn't sure about the exact strength of the 9 great dragon kings, but considering the praise from the Devourer of Souls, their power must be truly profound. If he really possessed even a small portion of Baxia's water attribute power, Xiao would become a cultivator with mastery over fire, wood, thunder, and water, the 4-attribute powerhouse. A 4-attribute cultivator. In the Great Thousand Worlds, there were very few who could master even 2 attributes. If Xiao, a 4-attribute powerhouse, were to reveal his abilities, he would surely be sought after by countless forces. Moreover, if he continued to grow, his combat potential would be terrifying. How do you feel? After a moment of silence, seeing Xiao with his eyes closed, seemingly sensing the water attribute power within the Baxia's mark, the Devourer of Souls asked eagerly. Although the Baxia's mark came from Baxia, it was still unclear whether it carried Baxia's peak water attribute power. This kind of thing was probabilistic, and even the Devourer of Souls didn't dare make rash assumptions. I can feel it. The Baxia's mark in the dragon scales is actually a defensive Dou technique. Xiao's eyes flickered with surprise as he spoke. A defensive Do technique? The Devourer of Souls nodded slightly upon hearing this. Xia, who controlled the power of mountains, was known for his terrifying defensive abilities, and with the added water attribute strength, this defensive Do technique would undoubtedly be formidable, perfect for Xiao Yin at this moment. Now, with Xia's water attribute defensive Do technique, combined with my fire-based destructive power, my soul clone Xiao Lei's strength, and with some practice of my wood attribute power, I should be able to handle many unforeseen situations. Even that century-old agreement, I now have the strength to face it. Xiao Yin muttered, sensing the dazzling power in his dragon arm. However, when he mentioned the century-old agreement, his hand involuntarily tightened into a fist. The century-old agreement, made with the protector of the Xiao clan, had always been of great importance to Xiao Yin. Originally, when he reached the level of a Do Xian, he could have gone to fulfill the agreement, but Xiao Yin delayed his departure for two reasons. First, he had come to the Ghost Realm to repay the Devourer of Souls' help, and second, to accumulate more strength. Xiao Yin understood that the Xiao clan's sudden destruction and the disappearance of countless allied clans were no accident. The force behind it was likely one of overwhelming power, capable of covering the sky. Without sufficient strength, even if he went to fulfill the agreement, the Protector and others wouldn't reveal all the secrets they knew. However, after this journey to the Ghost Realm, Xiao Yin was confident he would have the strength to deal with these matters, so the century-old agreement had been postponed. Are you all right? Seeing Xiao Yin fall into a brief daze, the Devourer of Souls asked after a moment of silence. I'm fine. Master, now that everything here is settled and the Xia defensive Do technique is in my heart, I can directly use it in battle from now on. There's no time to waste. Let's move on to the next level. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Yin withdrew his dragon arm, returning to his usual appearance, and stepped forward towards the passage. It led to the entrance of the third level. Vroom vroom. What exactly has entered the Earth Spirit Tower? The Ghost Queen's aura is incredibly faint, and the Dragonblood Martial Emperor's aura is also extremely obscure. What's going on? The man dressed like a monk stood in the barren void of the second layer, muttering to himself. That person is a disciple from our spirit hall, named Xiao Yin. Just as the monk-like man was puzzled, another powerful figure with a similarly dazzling aura appeared. It was the dean of the spirit hall, Ling Yuanzi. Ling Yuanzi, the Earth Spirit Tower's internal space, has lost two powerful figures. One of them was a subordinate of the Devourer of Souls, and the other is a descendant of the Dragon Clan. These two matters are not trivial. We must stop this disciple's training. Enough. The monk-like man did not retreat when he saw Ling Yuanzi appear. His own dazzling aura once again filled the air. Shuzi, these matters are not for you to worry about. You should focus on elevating the position of the Earth Spirit Hall to the top of the 5 great halls. Only then can we ensure that the Devourer of Souls will continue to provide us with abundant resources. This disciple cannot be stopped. Otherwise, I don't mind having a proper battle with you. After all, it's been a long time since I've fought at full strength. By the end, the two were glaring at each other, ready to clash at any moment. Fine. If something happens in the depths of the Earth Spirit Tower, I'll take full responsibility. As soon as the words left his mouth, the monk-like figure slowly vanished. He knew that if a real fight broke out, he would not stand a chance against Ling Yuanzi. It seems that leaving the soul-devouring domain was the right choice. Once I repay the Devourer of Souls' favor, it will be time to leave. Still, my mind has been uneasy lately. Is something about to happen? As soon as the words left his mouth, both figures disappeared one after another, and once again, everything returned to calm. Whoosh whoosh. On the other side, Xiao Yin, who had just left the second layer of the Earth Spirit Tower, stepped into a spatial passageway, heading towards the third layer. However, Xiao Yin noticed that as he descended deeper into the Earth Spirit Tower, an ever-present pressure began to pervade the air. This pressure was an absolute suppression of strength, as if the Earth Spirit Tower, due to the chaotic energy within, was sealing away some extremely powerful beings. Thud. With a sound, the dark, endless spatial passage shattered again, and Xiao Yan's figure was pulled into an unfamiliar region. This time, he did not panic. Because of the chaotic energy in the Earth Spirit Tower, each person's experience of each layer would be different due to its mysterious nature. What is this place? As the space finally stabilized and the dazzling white light faded, Xiao slowly opened his eyes and gasped in disbelief. This is the lava world? The next moment, Xiao felt the scorching heat surrounding him, like being trapped in a steaming furnace. The third layer of the Earth Spirit Tower seemed to be a lava world? Buzz buzz. As far as the eye could see, it was an endless expanse of molten lava, with a fiery aura spreading throughout. The heat here was unlike ordinary flames. It was actually burning Xiao Do Qi, something unprecedented. Great Heavenly Seed Scarlet Flame. Without hesitation, Xiao activated his Great Heavenly Seed defense. Brilliant red flames formed a protective shield around him, which somewhat alleviated the pressure, and the burning sensation on his Do Qi diminished. If this continued, once his Do Qi was exhausted, he would have no choice but to perish in this fiery lava world. He withdrew his gaze and looked further into this mysterious lava world. Here, there was nothing but boundless molten lava, roaring like a storm, as if it had no end. Only endless lava and flames existed, with huge bubbles rising from the lava's surface, creating a shockingly powerful force. Xiao felt that something was wrong, as if there was more to this place than it appeared. Glug, glug. Just as Xiao was in doubt, bubbles suddenly emerged from the molten lava below. However, within these bubbles, there seemed to be some other force, faint but noticeable. Boom, boom, boom. The bubbles rose from the bottom of the lava and suddenly exploded as soon as they surfaced. The power contained within them made Xiao feel weak, and even his hidden dragon god's 9 transformations began to emanate a strange aura. It was as if his ancient enemies or allies were somehow linked to this power, leaving Xiao thoroughly confused. What is going on here? Noticing the strange occurrences, Xiao couldn't help but look around cautiously. The lava and flames here were far from ordinary, and he knew he couldn't let his guard down. Kid, why have you entered my forbidden land? What's that sound? Xiao was deeply shocked, his dazzling soul power and flames spreading out as he tried to locate the source of the sound. However, despite a thorough search, he found no trace of it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Shortly after, with the eerie sound echoing, the magma in the world around him suddenly surged violently. Scarlet Flame Sea. As the roiling magma's aura surged again, the crimson great heavenly seed within Xiao erupted directly, forming a spectacular sea of fire in the magma world. Whoosh whoosh. Although the Scarlet Flame Sea possessed formidable power, in this peculiar space today, Xiao noticed its strength seemed significantly suppressed, as if being restrained by an unknown force. With just this much power, you dare to challenge the third layer's guardian? Human, perish. As the fiery sea erupted in the magma world, the eerie voice once again echoed from all directions. Boom. As the voice fell, a towering pillar of light shot up from the bottom of the magma world. The magma pillar, cylindrical in shape, was suffused with an eerie cyan flame that made Xiao heart tremble slightly. In this magma world, most of the flames were typically fiery red. Yet as the cyan pillar emerged, Xiao sensed something unusual. Splash! The cyan pillar of light easily shattered Xiao Scarlet Flame Sea as if it were nothing. It then surged forward with overwhelming fiery energy, shooting straight toward Xiao. For Xiao, such a flame attack was insignificant. However, the mysterious guardian's identity was unknown, and Xiao was not about to reveal his true strength prematurely. Come out! From the moment the cyan flame pillar emerged from the depths of the magma world, Xiao soul power had surged towards it. Now, his soul energy attacked the bottom of the magma world like a tidal wave as he roared. Crash! At that moment, a formless force abruptly detached from Xiao, creating a purified zone within the magma world. The magma world, which had appeared as a solid landmass, was now divided by Xiao soul energy into a fiery channel that stretched from the top to the bottom. This fire channel extended downward through the magma flames toward the depths of the magma world. The narrow space was saturated with Xiao Yan's soul energy, unaffected by the surrounding flames for the time being. So what if you found me? You'll still meet your end. Phoenix shadow soaring to the ninth heaven. Suddenly, a furious roar erupted from the bottom of the fire channel. Whoosh whoosh. As the voice fell, 9 radiant cyan phoenix shadows soared skyward, spreading out from the bottom. The Phoenix clan? Upon sensing the enormous fiery energy projections resembling phoenixes, the devourer of souls within Xiao Yan exclaimed in surprise. The Phoenix clan? Xiao Yan echoed in shock. The dragon and phoenix clans stood as apex existences in the Great Thousand Worlds. Although the Phoenix clan was slightly weaker than the Dragon clan, their power was still unfathomable. Thunderfire King of Hell. Seeing the 9 phoenix shadows charging toward him, Xiao Yan summoned the colossal Thunderfire Guardian to shield himself. Bang, bang, bang. The 9 phoenix shadows crashed into Xiao Yan one after another. The Thunderfire Guardian's lightning and flame energy rapidly weakened under the onslaught, nearly shattering. Nevertheless, it managed to fend off the attack. What a powerful strike. I need to find out who this being truly is. Retrieving the Thunderfire King of Hell, Xiao Yan focused his gaze on the bottom of the fire channel, murmuring to himself. The bottom of the magma world was not only the dwelling of the third layer's guardian, but also the source of the attacks. Yet why didn't it reveal itself? And why did it attack him? Questions swirled in Xiao Yan's mind. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Soul power surged around Xiao Yan once more as his figure shot rapidly downward. Come on down. I've prepared a purgatory just for you. The being below seemed unhurried. As it sensed Xiao Yan's rapid approach, a sinister smile emerged. The smile carried a bone-chilling aura that made one's heart race. Its figure loomed, eclipsing the space around it. This space, nestled at the bottom of the magma world, felt distinct, as if isolated from the magma realm. Midway, Xiao Yan's senses vaguely told him that the fluctuations emanating from the mysterious being at the bottom, while not as overwhelming as Ling Yuanzi's, were undoubtedly those of a genuine 7-star Do Xian. The strength of the final 2 guardians must be powerful enough to break through the heavens.